KSW.
Right.
No matter what you do, what walk of life you have, baggage affects relationships. Because I would hope that if she hears you say that, at some point when she gets her healing, she can go, all right, we can't be together, but I got to have some love for this man.
Yeah, well, my daughter, Brooke, she kind of switched gears on me 2 nights ago, because when we were going through all this stuff, I didn't realize some of the stuff that was going on with Brooke on the far end of the house until she kind of told me what was in her diaries as she had, went through all this drama with her mother. I didn't really know what was going on with those two. And
you mean some tough stuff was going on between the two
man,
of them.
It was really crazy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't up to speed with that, and I just couldn't understand why my daughter would cry every night when she'd go to bed, and she was always crying. I couldn't figure it out. I just thought she was just different than Nick. Nick was always smiling, and Brooke was always crying. And so it just got to the point where right before the divorce happened, when I was trying to keep it together, Brooke was saying, Dad, you guys, Nick and I would like it better if you guys weren't together. That blew my mind.
Wow.
And she kind of was telling me, Mom doesn't love you anymore, and it kind of blew my mind, Yeah. And so now we had a talk about it actually 2 nights ago. And, something came up. There were some pictures in the book that, there was a picture of me sitting with Linda on this little white swing on the porch. And I was just, asking, man, I wonder if your mom really ever did love me. And Brooke goes, oh, yeah, she did, Dad. So she switched gears on me, which is okay. But that's a weird question.
That's a tough phrase. Though.
Yeah.
Hulk, when you say somebody falls out of love with somebody,
bro, let me tell you something.
It's a tough phrase to use because it makes me look like somebody might feel like, what did I do wrong? And sometimes it's just the person is where they are.
It's even different than that, bro. In the Bible, it's a spiritual vibe that if you actually love somebody, it doesn't matter if they're a serial killer or if they, kill baby turtles for a living. I mean, you still love them.
I hate those people.
You're right, Hulk, and that's a hell of a thing to try to live up to because you're right. That's a turn the other cheek mentality that we're all supposed to have, but it's hard to be sometimes.
Yeah, so it's been crazy, but I got to the lowest point you could get to, and I just. I'd been praying for a few years before my wife filed for the divorce about being happy, and I just snapped out of it. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and a lot of good things happened from that point on. So, there's a lot of drama in that book, but it's actually a positive book about making the right choice, and being responsible for your own joy and happiness, and don't ever give anybody the keys to your car and let them tell you what to think or who to like or not like because. I had no friends that could come over. I didn't have the neighbors that could come over, and my wife was saying that I was having an affair with Pam Anderson, with Brooke Shields, with Dolly Parton, with Drew Barrymore, my next door neighbors.
At least
are you crazy?
They're all great. They're all great ladies, at least.
I mean, heck out of those people. I mean, shoot.
She didn't say Kathy Bates or Jessica Tandy, at least. So at least she put good quality women in your state.
But what era of Dolly Parton are we talking about?
Hey, Dolly Parton, you know what? I take Dolly in.
Right
Dolly's
now,
a woman.
today, you'd do Dolly.
I think, Dolly's a woman. Come on. She's, you know what? She was the epitome of sexiness for so long.
She's got those Andre the Giant teeth. She's got like
That's awesome.
She's got like 1,000 of those little baby teeth in her head. It looks like she had a whole village full of villagers.
A whole village.
That's awesome.
And what happens when she takes that thing off? Now they're down like by her ankles, right?
Oh yeah.
But she's all strapped up, man. She got that Hollywood gimmick
so
going on.
I don't know, Hulk. I don't know if you know this, but you got something in common with Jerry Lewis because I remember hearing this about him a long time ago. He was in the same position you were in. He had a gun to his head, and he was and this was a long time ago. Same deal, like you describe in your book, where he was like, you know what, I think it would be easier if I just pull this trigger on everybody, and he had a similar epiphany to what you talked about in the book.
Well, bro, mine was a little different though. It wasn't like a conscious thing. I mean, because I've always said anybody that threatens suicide or talks about it or actually kills himself, they're a bunch of cowards. That was my alpha male mentality. I had no idea you could slip into this thing and you don't even realize it because I'd bought a gun, many years ago. I kept the gun around the house for protection. And then, about 5 or 6 years ago, it started getting so wacky with Linda. I hid the gun in the safe, bro, because I didn't want to end up being the next Phil Hartman. It was that insane, the stuff she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept thinking, by the time I'd get cussed out, F you, F that, I hate you, and I'd see all the stuff she was doing besides drinking. I hid that gun, bro. I said, man, I don't want to lay there and have, she might be out of her mind and just put a couple of caps in me, So the weird thing was when I came home, and it was this 20,000 square foot house I built for my family. And when I came home after she filed for divorce, I was doing American Gladiators. I just left. I was so depressed when I got hit with divorce papers. It blew my mind. And when I came home, weird things happened. The first thing that usually happens when I come to my house is all the 10 dogs would come greet me. And they would jump all over you and go crazy. And it just was a cool thing. All of a sudden, all the animals were gone, and everybody was gone. My kids were gone, and Linda was gone. No one would talk to me on the phone, you know. Nobody would even answer my calls, and then I started looking around the house, and every single closet was empty. And it was the weirdest feeling because all the family pictures were there, my kids and my wife. And I just went in the bathroom, and I had to sit in a real high chair. That's why I'm sitting now, because if I stand too long, my legs go numb, you know. And I can't stand long enough to brush my teeth or shave my face. So I sat down in this chair. I just started staring in the mirror going, where did everybody go, and how did this happen? And then the old wrestler mentality kicked in. The hell with that, I'm going to have a drink, brother. So I don't drink hard liquor, man. I drink beer and a little bit of wine, and I went downstairs to the kitchen. I came back up, and I put one of them half-gallon of Captain Morgan things.
Oh, you
went
and Captain on it.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. And so I took a couple big hits off that, you know, it kind of mellowed me out. And then I started looking for anything, you know, receipts or anything to try to figure out where everybody was. And as I was digging through all the drawers, I found this old bottle of those big white totem pole Xanaxes, the big ones. I don't know if you know what they are.
Man, so
those things
bars?
Yeah, the bars. So I ate a couple of those things, and they were like 4 or 5 years old.
You were having yourself a little party at this
point. That's like hitting the reset button right there.
And not one. I ate a couple. I mean, I just kept drinking. And the next thing I knew, bro, the next thing I knew, I had that gun.
Wow.
And the gun was in the safe, so I don't remember. So I'm just telling you can get to this spot and not know you're doing it. So I went and got the gun, and I sat there for about 2 days. And the only time I'd get up was to go to the bathroom. I'd come sit in the chair, and I almost drank the whole bottle of this stuff, bro. And I just remember I started hypnotizing myself. The more I looked in the mirror, and I just remember the gun on my face, and my hands are numb. I can't feel anything.
Wow.
If I pull a cup of coffee out of the microwave, Nick goes, "Hey, Dad, your fingers are smoking." I can't feel anything. So here I am with this gun, and I'm high as a kite, and I'm playing with it and hitting it on my teeth and stuff. And all my friends were calling me, you know, trying to check up on me. I kept BSing them, going, "Hey, yeah, I'm okay," but they knew I was in bad shape. And then finally, Layla Ali called me, and this is a chick, I don't know her, you know, but I hung with her dad, and I know her dad real well. And so all of a sudden she goes, "Man, we're just so concerned about you. We were freaked out the way you acted when you walked off the NBC set of American Gladiators. You were just so depressed. I just couldn't quit crying. I had my son with me. And I get hit with these papers the first day of filming, you know, when there were 1,000 people in the Sony soundstage.
You had to go on. You had to go on after getting those papers.
I've never had that feeling.
Wow.
As sick as, you know, and so I turned around. I didn't know if I was going to puke or faint. My knees, I couldn't even stand up. I just checked out, walked off. You know, and so she called me. She goes, "We're so worried about you." She goes, "We love you." And she said it like 2 or 3 times. "We love you. We love you so much. You know, we just want you to come back, and we want you to go to church with us and meet our minister. And please, when you come back to L.A., please, you know, call me." So, dude, I couldn't.
And I know of that guy you met with. That's the guy. They had that whole thing about The Secret, that DVD that was going around. And Michael Beckwith was one of the guys on that. Not a bad guy to hang with because it's not your traditional religion. It really does. It's a lot of positivity, really.
It's old age, new wisdom. It talks about God, and actually, it's not like the etchy
not the fire and brimstone kind of stuff.
No, but it talks about, you know, the Spirit of Christ inside you. You don't need anything else, and just bringing that out and being the best you can be and being the real me and helping people and being positive and having the right intent and walking in the Spirit of Christ and attracting, because like attracts like misery loves company. If you're evil, negative, and hateful and malice, you attract more nasty stuff in your life. But if you're positive and high and happy and good to people and your intent is pure, good things happen. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I couldn't get out of the house fast enough. It wasn't like I was going to go stalk her, but it just it flipped me out because I realized what I was doing. And I didn't know I was there, bro. So I'm telling you, you can get there. And I didn't know I was there. And what happened was once I get out of the house, it's like I breathe clean air. And, you know, several people said, "Well, maybe you should talk to your wife." The wife's lawyer said, "You know, your wife wants to talk to you." And every time I started thinking about it, it's like breathing dirty air. And I couldn't go back there because I realized people are good. You know, people are great. Life is beautiful. And like when people come up to me and say, "Well, how do you deal with it all the time?" You know, people are always coming up to you and, you know, they're stopping you in the street and everywhere. I said, thank God it's happening. I mean, people mean well, you know, even if they're over aggressive and crazy as heck, like that lady out there screaming at me. They're cool people.
There's so much love for you. That's why.
Thank you, man. And
seriously,
I didn't understand that because with my ex-wife, everything was just F this, F that. And what really blew me away is I did this surprise thing to try to renew our vows, you know. We were going into this party like about 6 years ago, and I had this minister show up to renew our vows, and it caught her off guard.
Oh, man, yeah.
And so he put our hands together and did the short version of the little wedding, how to renewed our vows, and she was crying. I was all upset, and it was cool. We went out to get in the car. F that minister, that mother effer.
Wow.
What?
The BJ Shea Morning Experience on 99.9 KISW.